Hello everyone and welcome back for some more Hearthstone action. We got some Challengestone for you guys. And I know some of you guys might just be tuning in for the first time. We did have the semifinals of the tournament earlier, and we'll recap all of that. We'll make sure you guys all know what's going on. I'm Crip, joined here by TJ and Saviz. TJ shaking his head. He is a participant who actually didn't really know what was going on earlier. He was kind of whirlwinded away from the tournament in the early stage.
I'd appreciate it if we don't recap the semifinals of Challengestone for my sake. No, I'm kidding. It was a fun time. These rules are actually really cool, and I wish I could go back and rebuild my decks now that I've actually been on stage and realized how poor of a performance I put up, which is something that makes the tournament memorable.
It does, it does. Well, let's go over the rules. Let's get into it here. So, Challengestone for BlizzCon here, it was a sabotage Challengestone. It was one where players first picked classes, so they ended up with 3 unique classes, back and forth picks. And after the 3 classes were chosen for each player, pairs built their decks at the same time, and they switched places, and they had 15 minutes to fill their opponent's deck with a total of 30 unique cards, 10 cards in each deck from the wild format. And basically the idea is, on one hand, you can pick the strategy to put in some really not so great cards, or on the other, to put in cards you can counter. And after those 50 minutes are up, players return to their own decks and have 20 minutes to fill the remaining 20 cards of the 30 card decks into ones that resemble actual collections that could win games. Unless you're TJ, and then they actually couldn't win games because he went 0-3 or 3.
Yeah, some of these decks ended up really horrible. Like we saw in the semifinals, no shots fired.
TJ, what was the most horrible deck, you think?
Oh, the Warrior deck, which is actually kind of funny because now that we're moving into the finals, Kibler has a Warrior deck that's very similar. What Firebat did to me was he saw that I had picked 2 weapon classes. So what he did was he decided to, load those decks up with weapons, which you can't play them more than 1 weapon a turn. It's hard to play multiple weapons, and then he filled his decks with weapon removals.
Yeah.
So Kibler's Warrior deck is very similar to mine. He put in a lot of pirates. He had the same sort of theme.
He's also playing Paladin too, isn't he? Not?
Is he playing Paladin also?
I think so.
Well, then yeah, he has 2 weapon classes. So that means that Firebat strategy actually unintentionally lines up well against Kibler's.
Well, we'll see. Let's see what the players think. Raven's on stage with them now.
Thanks a lot, Crip. Without no further ado, I can introduce the players for the finals of Challengestone. First off is going to be the 2014 World Champion himself. It is Firebat. And his opponent is going to be the father of dragons himself. It is Brian Kibler. Hey guys, Firebat, how confident are you going against Kibler? Because I do know you were throwing some smack talk in the back earlier on.
I'm fairly confident. I'm pretty happy with my decks, and I hope he plays well, and I can win on deck building rather than just him misplaying.
I expected better from you, to be honest. Kibler, do you have any better smack talk than that for Firebat? Do you feel your wisdom is going to be a benefit here?
Well, I feel if Firebat wins on deck building, it's thanks to TJ giving him good cards as part of his sabotage. Here, have some secrets. These are just good. Great. Here, go for it.
Do you think your victory is all down to TJ just being bad?
I think that's more just Brian Kibler coming up with some excuses pre-game, so...
Okay, well, there's one way to find out. Shake hands and good luck in the finals. We are going to be going straight to the finals now. The games are going to begin. So, Crip, take it away.
Thank you, Raven. So the deck building happened a little bit earlier, and we are going to take a look at that. It is going to be a little bit of a different dynamic. You have to keep in mind that the first stage of the tournament, they drafted against each other. So the aspect of countering your opponent, as for instance Firebat did to TJ very successfully, was to load his deck up with weapons and have weapon removal. Now, this basically guarantees that you get to the final, which is where these players are, but in the final, this dynamic is no longer relevant because they're coming from 2 different drafting sessions. So Firebat has some very anti-weapon decks, while I feel Kibler might not have as refined lists, but does have more general decks. So it seems like that might be a bit of an advantage. And you might see the different names there. You might see Frodan drafting with TJ. This is because this is the sabotage part of the draft. So it's their opponents trying to sabotage them. And I can see, TJ, you have a very devious look on your face there.
Oh my goodness. So I had, look how smart I think I am, is what I want to point out there. I was like, I'm going to give him a bunch of secrets, and then I'm going to put secret removal in my deck, because on this, like an Eater of Secrets, there's no way he could counter it.
How long did it take for you to realize that you are not a favorite in the match?
About 30 seconds after I finished building my decks.
Wow.
And Firebat looked across at me, and he's like, thanks.
Yeah, I have to say that I feel like Firebat is going to be a massive favorite going into this finals, because we already saw Kibler struggle with his warrior deck in the semifinals, and Firebat just happens to have a perfect lineup to go against it with all those Uzis and Harrison Jones.
That's true. While Kibler might have maybe a slight advantage overall, it is a conquest format, so it is the weakest deck that has to pull off a win. And considering every single deck Firebat has counters weapon classes, seeing Kibler's warrior deck struggle already against really what I thought was no weapon removal whatsoever, well, that might be a problem.
You can also see that I actually started by giving Firebat like all of the Hunter secrets, and then I slowly realized, wait, that Hunter secret's pretty good. Yeah, that one's pretty good too. So's that one. So he ended up only having like 3 secrets in his Hunter deck. It was like Misdirection, Dart Trap, and Snake Trap or something.
And Misdirection worked out just fine.
I forgot that I'd put Misdirection in there. I thought it was only Dart Trap and Snake Trap, so I was like, oh, I'll just attack face and it won't do anything. I was like, why did he even play that trap?
All right, well, let's see the actual deck building. This is part 2 of the deck building. This is the 20-minute session. Of course, it's fast-forwarded, where the players had to see what their opponents had delivered in terms of 1/3 of the deck, and they had to fill the remaining 2/3 with the best they could. And Firebat's up. This is the moment where Firebat's like, hey, thanks, TJ. Right?
I think that's exactly the moment he says, wait a second, these decks are becoming pretty good.
Yeah, we saw the Hunter decks, especially the hand from Firebat in the first game against you in the semifinals. It looked like it wasn't even sabotaged.
Yeah, he had, well, I mean, he put...
It was definitely sabotage, but
yeah,
you know,
it was.
If you avoid a few cards, and probably half the list ended up working in this deck just fine, so if he just avoids like 4 or 5 cards, you definitely will not get the sabotage impression.
So what we're saying is he was really, really lucky.
Really lucky.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, really lucky.
We'll go with that. I like that one.
Okay. Yeah, I remember Kibler's strategy was to just polarly divide his opponent's decks with just a lot of very early game and a lot of very late game. And I think it worked out okay for him, but the warrior deck that he made ended up being, I think overall, just a bit weak. I think it's relatively strong if you can get those face hits in. I don't remember what Firebat has, but if he has decks that are light on taunts and heals, I think the warrior deck might just be able to steal a win from that.
Yeah, if it goes to late game, there's no way that warrior deck is winning anything. But if Kibler gets an upgrade, gets a Fiery War Axe, that's 12 damage right there if there's no ooze available.
Yeah, I mean, we saw how he beat Frodan earlier in his final match in game number 5 was he just kind of had enough damage and got there. He had exact lethal a turn before Frodan was going to kill him, so it came down to the wire, but you know, Firebat's a tough opponent. Firebat is someone that try-hards everything. If you go up to him with like your tablet and you're like, hey Firebat, you want to play a fun match of Hearthstone against each other? He'll say yeah, and then he'll queue up a shaman deck and just roll you over. And that's his idea of fun, is just winning over and over and over again. So he's not, he'll emote and you know he'll troll around with Tree of Life, but he'll only do that if he knows that he's still going to win the game.
That's a pretty convenient way to up-talk Firebat after getting completely smashed by him.
Yeah. I thought I took enough of a beating in the interviews that I did with some of these players. But
it's just too easy.
It is just too easy when you get 3-0.
You're that guy of the part of the joke that really does an amazing layup, you know? Like, without you laying up jokes on your own, we wouldn't be able to make it work. You're really a sport here.
The famous alley-oop that we all know from sports ball. Yeah, definitely.
All right, guys. Well, that was the drafting session. I think we're ready to get into the game here. Now, what can we expect? Do you think Kibler might just throw that warrior deck out there? Hopefully, he'll land on something he can steal a win from.
I think he might save it for last and just go for his decent decks first. Kind of to take an early lead. You know, we don't want to go down just 3-0 or 0-3 with that warrior.
The fun part is the druids. I believe they're both playing ramp Astral Communion druids.
Yeah, Firebat's version, especially with all those big taunts, it seemed to be very efficient in the match against DJ. But with those druids,
did every one of his decks.
Yeah, if those druids line up against each other.
He's double innervate, Wild Growth on 2.
Yeah, exactly. So even if Kibler's druid could potentially be a little bit weaker, if he gets a better draw, he might take such a huge lead that Firebat can't really remove his board.
All right, let's see if anyone gets an Astral in the early phase here.
I saw the not bad face from Kibler after he saw his mulligan. Of course, we're not going to see it for a second.
Wow.
I guess that's the not bad face.
Pretty good.
Well, he's going to run out of steam really quickly, but he's got so many late game cards in his deck that it probably won't really matter. But look at Firebat, he's just...
There's some sabotage.
You know, Astral would be pretty good here. Oh, that's not it though. Could have just played it on turn 1 there with the innervate and the coin. Wouldn't have felt too bad about losing those wild growths.
At least he can ramp into Tree of Life.
Here we see some of those bad gods, Flying Machine and Dot Trap. Those don't do too much.
I wonder, I think you just Raven Isle for a spell here.
I wouldn't have hated just going for a coin wild growth, because he does have to... Oh, Norwich is a great pickup.
He can get a second Tree of Life.
Well, Tree of Life in this matchup, I think, is going to work out just fine.
Yeah, but just one should be enough.
All right, well, Firebat's got a choice between 2 traps.
Interesting that he just didn't hero power there. He obviously plans to play Flying Machine next turn.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I mean, it's like straight up a 2 miss damage if he ends up playing Cloaked Huntress this turn anyway.
Yeah, so it has to be the Flying Machine, right? What? Oh.
No.
Okay, it's a little bit confusing. I would also expected that. Maybe he was trying to block with the trap.
It's not necessarily a buff. It's like to maybe deter a play, right?
Yeah, potentially, like, maybe represent a cat trick or so. Try to make his opponent not cast a spell.
It's possible, but...
Are you accusing Super Firebat World Champion 2014 of making a misplay? I mean, I don't know if you want to go there.
He
Let's
plays
just go there.
He plays perfectly,
Yes.
as we all know from his match against me. You have to play perfectly to beat a player of my caliber.
Okay, I'm a little bit surprised for Kibler just going for that fast ramp without a big minion in his hand, but to be fair, he does have a lot of great top decks available to him. But I wouldn't have minded just seeing something like a Wild Growth and Hero Power.
I think this is just a nod towards Kibler knowing his deck, and you know he knows that he has a large
many
amount of
late-game bombs, right?
yeah, exactly. So he's confident that he'll be able to draw one in the next coming turns, but he had already ramped quite a bit, so it is an interesting.
Oh, well, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Yep.
That's pretty good. No deadly shot available to fire, but
Thing is, that Dart Trap might make a huge impact. I mean, it kills half the Ancient of War if it lands on it.
Or it goes
Potentially.
face.
What's that?
Or it goes face.
Or face.
But if it happens on, I mean, it will happen on Kibler's turn, so he has that Tree of Life, so he could maybe get it back to full health after the Dart Trap.
I'm just curious, you know, there's regular RNG and there's World Champion RNG, so I don't know. I kind of feel like Dart Trap is going to hit that Ancient of War pretty soon.
Yeah, it's also pretty tough to attack with this. We can see that attacking with the Ancient of War is completely fine, but if you Kibler, you might be worried about freezing traps, because he does know that Firebat has 2 of those in his deck. That attack, however, it kind of signals that there maybe wouldn't be one.
Well, a swipe would look pretty scary here, but Firebat's probably expecting a swipe with that attack. In fact.
Well, that's a Kibler card.
Yes, it is. No dragons in his hand right now, so no added value from that death rattle. But in case he picks up something like a Ysera and that gets dealt with, it is going to hit the board for 0 mana.
Well, Firebat does have high main, so that's a nice drop onto the board. It doesn't do much against the Deathwing Dragon Lord, but what it does do is it forces Kibler in a situation where he doesn't feel comfortable trying to push face damage. So he might feel like he have to start trading, and high main is just a card that's just so tough to trade into.
It really is. Kibler hoping to find another big minion here. Poison Seeds. Not exactly it.
Yeah, that's pretty
I think
bad.
you actually just naturalize Tree of Life and smack for 12.
I don't know if you naturalize, because Firebat is low on cards, and there's Dr. Boom, there's more high mains. There's quite a bit of late game, but I think he's considering the Tree of Life, maybe, based on the
I really like the
right
face
now.
hit here.
Yeah, me too. 12 is quite a bit. Oh, just the Dread Cruiser. Okay. Do you swing in with the hero power?
Well,
If you do it, you should do it first, I suppose.
on
Dart trap.
yeah. Well, Kibler knows there's a dart trap in the deck, but he also knows it's
Might have forgotten.
unlikely.
I think he might have forgotten about that. I don't really think there's a reason to play that 3-3 first.
That's
'cause
not,
you don't
that's
want
not
the
world
double
champion
hit.
energy at all.
Nope. Well, depends how you look at it. He's got an eagle horn bow in his hand, so maybe that's where he wanted it to go. He doesn't care about a Deathwing Dragon Lord.
Oh man,
That Tree of Life, though.
so good.
And also, this mad scientist, I think the only secret left in the deck is Misdirection.
No, he's got 2 freeze traps, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
there's 3 straps.
He put those in there?
No.
I put those in there?
Whoa!
Okay, well, that's pretty cool.
More drag. That's real, like plus 21 on the hero and plus 9 on that Deathwing Dragon Lord. Snipe!
Oh,
Not
Snipe's in there as
exactly
well,
what
okay.
Firebat was hoping to get.
So this is misdirect or freeze, and it's functional in both cases.
Yep, should be good.
Yeah, I mean, the Deathwing Dragon Lord becomes unplayable. It gets frozen back to the hand, so... I guess except with second innervate. Oh, no, you can't even play it.
Well, I think you just go face and maybe.
Rag!
That's pretty good.
I mean, you have to attack here.
If you...
What does it accomplish? Because like you're almost certain that there's going to be a freezing trap, so the bow charge might be quite relevant. I wouldn't hate just seeing
It
a
could be
drag hero power.
misdirection.
He can Poison Seeds and get his Deathwing on the
True.
board.
It is one of those traps is a random one, so it could be a misdirection. And in that case, it's quite likely that the Dragon Lord would hit one of Firebat's minions after that. So he looks like Kibler wants to attack here. Guess we can't really blame him with that.
It is misdirection.
Yep, now we know.
It could still trigger.
That's the snipe. It doesn't do too much. The rack's still there.
I think
You
we're
take a
just,
proactive hit here.
I think we're just holding on to it. Because if you hold...
But you might think it's explosive too. You wouldn't want to
then-
trigger an explosive.
Yeah, then he should have attacked first, I suppose, if he's going to go
Now,
first.
I'm pretty sure it is misdirection. I'm pretty sure there is no explosive.
Oh, man.
You didn't give an explosive trap, did you? You wouldn't do that,
No,
DJ.
see, this is why I put a bunch of traps in the deck, to make my turns more complicated.
Wow.
No space with this, he might hit himself
Yes.
for 12.
Oh, it's not misdirection. Actually, I guess it has to be explosive trap or bear trap.
Oh, it's misdirection. Misdirection. He didn't attack the face. Did he attack the face?
Oh, misdirection's attack only, right?
Yeah, it's attack the face. Yeah.
Ragnar's not attack. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be weird if it like blocked the fireball in the midair. It'd be pretty cool though.
Now, somebody might be
Yeah.
wondering, why did the Dull Armor bot get played there? But it is for that rack targeting, so potentially it might soak up 8 damage here, which wouldn't be too bad. The Firebat really needs to find some of his late game soon. There is that Dr. Boom at least somewhere.
Well, he's thinking of killing the Ragnaros. Now,
Well, I mean, isolating the
Ragnaros
face.
is famously good against traps. You just keep clearing the board and Ragnaros does the killing.
Yeah, if he clears off the rag, it means that the Deathwing Dragon Lord on Misdirect has less targets to hit. It means it's more likely to hit Kibler's own face if he does that. So it also means that if Kibler uses his hero power to attack the face, it's more likely to hit the Deathwing Dragon Lord for 12 damage. So
Yeah, that Norris might just find lethal here. Going.
Oh boy.
uh-oh, where's it going?
That's the best possible result.
I mean, it's like,
It does give him a bow charge.
I'm not sure if I like that. Would it maybe have been better to attack with the hero to get that 12 in?
he doesn't want to gamble on Ancient Shade.
Yeah. Well, he's setting up a 2-turn lethal here with Deathwing Dragon Lord plus a hero power next turn. Firebat needs something. Oh, well, no,
That doesn't work.
Good, because
It
there's
doesn't
still
work.
gonna be a bunch of dragons. even if it hits the Dragon Lord, there's still going to be another Deathwing, so...
And a Ysera. It's actually going to gain damage.
Yeah, it's going to gain damage.
Yeah.
That's terrible. To Firebat. Oh no! And Kibler wins in true Kibler fashion with many dragons.
Well, how about that, guys? Firebat drops his first game in 2 years at BlizzCon.
That's very true. Well, no, he wasn't undefeated through his run through the World Championship. He might drop his first
1 year
match.
and 364 days at BlizzCon.
I've never won a game at BlizzCon. There's a fun fact for you, Crip.
Yeah, well, that's what it is, guys. We'll get into game 2 in a moment.
Hearthstone World Championship is sponsored in part by Intel, T-Mobile, NVIDIA, and Republic of Gamers.
This is Kibler now. He's filling in for Kibler. Kibler he retired after that last game.
He's in deep thought. He wants his owner, Kibler, to win. Shiro, the Dragon Lord.
I'm surprised Deathwing didn't summon him when Deathwing died.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because Kibler always wears shirts with Shiro on it, so he's always there in spirit, but today, he's there in the flesh.
Kibler's checking in on the dog. There he is.
Yeah, that man loves his dog. Half of his Instagram is just pictures of the dog as well.
Well, that's what half of everyone's Instagram is actually. Anyone legitimate on Instagram has many fluffy animal photos.
So does Crip.
Yeah,
Paparian.
of course. Well. Oh man, that's a serious face.
Firebat does not like losing. That is one thing. Even if it's Challengestone, even if it's a fun deck building challenge, Firebat does not take losing lightly.
All right, well we have two secret decks against one another here.
This looked like it might have been the weakest deck from Firebat based on the semifinals. Eerie statue. That's interesting if you get the Goghammer buff on it.
Yeah, it's a 4-mana 7/7. I've heard those are pretty good.
Divine Shield.
Yeah. It can also attack, just usually doesn't.
Yeah, it's quite tough. So let's take a trip back in time.
Wow.
Add scientists into shielded minibot.
Shielded minibot into Master for Battle.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
Those were the
this is
times.
going to be a pretty high quality match here.
Yeah, looks like it.
Now the secret you get here is pretty relevant.
There we go. Master for Battle.
Well, it's not counterspell.
Nope.
Not counterspell, could be ice barrier. It is ice barrier.
Not very useful.
Well, we'll see, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's better than nothing, and now it's out of the deck, so he won't be drawing into it from the top.
Weapon removal into water elemental, into weapon, into Harrison Jones weapon removal.
Yeah. So
2 minions that freeze and 3 minions that remove weapons effectively, because the Blingatron does give
Yeah.
your opponent a weapon, but it also...
imagine
It starts
yourself
gold one.
in my shoes earlier when I was playing a warrior deck that had 12 weapons, plus 2 upgrades, and his deck had a Blingtron, and my deck had a Blingtron.
Those weapons are not going to stick around. Yeah, that DJ, that sure does sound like an uphill battle.
To say the least.
Yeah.
Man, this is some serious curving from this Paladin deck.
We even saw that Kibler had Mysterious Challengers earlier on.
Yeah.
So that means, you know, that this is the deck of old. He's just going to try and do the strategy of...
Oh, what is that? That's
Oh, it's
Curse
Curse Blade!
But he does have the Gorkhammer to replace it, so it won't cause any extra damage to him. But if he plays the Gorkhammer, there's the Harrison waiting.
But let's go ahead and take a look at the doozy weapon that Firebat got over there.
That's actually pretty cool.
It's
because
very good
with
for
mage.
mage.
Yeah, with mage, it's not bad at all. He doesn't need to use it.
I think it's actually crazy. Poison Blade, Poison Blade is an amazing card, except not in Rogue.
Yeah.
The downside is it's a Rogue card.
That's the downside.
Yeah.
That 6 mana card looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, Mysterious Challenger. I don't miss that card too much, honestly.
He's just scared of taking a ton of damage.
Yeah, but I mean, he's still at full health, so I don't think there's any issues with that. If you have 6 mana, you have Mysterious Challenger, you cannot play it. 4 secrets.
Firebat's like, what am I playing?
Harrison Jones. Yeah, you draw 2 cards, but I think you were pretty happy with your opponent having that one.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Firebat at the moment. And I don't even remember what secrets there were in Kibler's deck. I know that Frodan had put a few bad secrets in. I think he put Eye for an Eye.
Definitely Eye for an Eye. I think we saw Redemption. We saw Avenge. I don't know if there's 2 Avenges, however. We saw Get Down. So it could be just those 4 with the second Avenge in his hand.
It's possible.
If not, there's one that we didn't see and I don't remember.
Maybe Sacred Trial?
Well, that would be a bad one, so...
It's a bad one, yeah. I'm not sure if Frodan actually put that in Kibler's deck as a sabotage.
Yeah, Avenge tends to be the best one of all the secrets, so if you're playing Mysterious Challenger, I think you do put 2 of those in, so we're gonna go. There's the Redemption. Is there another Avenge? No, there's only that one which is in Kibler's hand.
Poison Blade's been out for a long time, and that's actually the first time I've ever seen it buffed.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't play enough fun decks.
I don't play enough fun decks.
The idea with Poison Blade, it actually came out in the same expansion as... It's going to take me a second. Sideshow Spell Eater, which takes the hero power from your opponent. So you start off as a rogue, and then you become something else after you use a Poison Blade, and then using someone else's hero power, preferably one that was just a card up once, you can then buff your weapon passively and then have a giant weapon in the end.
Lessons with Crip.
Yes. It's happened once in a friendly match.
Once! Well, Competitive Spirit was the mysterious secret.
Yep,
the
no
mystery
Avenge
secret.
and Competitive Spirit.
Yeah, really powerful here. You can get some excellent trades here. Thinking about how to use that Gorkhammer exactly.
Yeah, he also has Paladin Shredder to just drop down the board if he so chooses. Cockhammer plus Paladin Shredder presents a very threatening board.
Yeah, the hammer is looking really good here. He could consider adding it with a 2-2 if he wants the
Yeah, I think
the Divine Shield on something
I'd
else.
drop the 2-2 into something. I think, yeah, there, it happened.
I'm not sure if it's bad, but
Well, I think attacking
better.
that and then killing the 2-3 with the 3-3 and then dropping the cog hammer.
Because if you divine shield the 3-3, then there's no freeze happening from that snow chugga, so that's also something to consider.
Yeah. We'll see if Kibler remembers his GVG mechanics with the pilot shredder placement. He doesn't. It's on the far right. Grip. It's lonely over there.
We always play it there. Us non-championship plebs.
If there's no Direwolf or Flame Tongue, I guess it's not gonna matter. Looking at these hands right now, I don't think it's gonna matter at all.
Well, it could be a Doomsayer.
Could be.
Could be. And then it doesn't matter where it is.
Is it already time to go for that? Looks like Firebat doesn't think so just yet. Going to draw here, maybe get a Frost Bolt or some kind of way to slow down that 7/7.
I think the ping is actually pretty important. But
Ooh, so that's 11, 12, 13, 15?
Yep, pretty close.
so if this avenges the 3-1, he's fine. But if not, he loses the game then, right?
It's still eye for an eye.
Oh, it is eye for an eye.
Without healing, if he goes down to 1, I suppose he will never be able to, trigger it.
Well, I think that's just going to do it with the cog hammer.
So Kibler going up 2-0, but the last deck is the warrior. Yeah, so he might still struggle. I would not rule out Firebat.
Yeah, I mean, this is the exact same situation that Kibler was in earlier, I believe, where he got the 2 wins with the other decks pretty easily, but then couldn't find the win with the warrior, so...
Well, he found the win with the warrior. It just happened to have, like, a running top deck against Frodan to stay alive/win.
Yeah, he needed a lot of help.
Yeah, well, let's see if he'll get it, but that'll be in game 3 after this. Welcome back, guys. Game 3 is about to begin. We will have to see if Kibler can pull a win out with this warrior. We're talking a bit in the break there, and TJ, you're not so confident. You think the warrior can't win despite it getting 3 chances?
It's gonna be so hard. I mean, Firebat specifically teched his decks to beat almost a warrior deck that's identical to the one that Kibler has, and that was the one that I had earlier. I mean, it's so full of weapons. It's so full of aggressive cards like pirates. And Firebat just he doesn't necessarily have as much weapon removal or freeze in this deck, or in his druid deck at least, but I mean, he does have taunts, and then in all of his other decks, like the mage deck, he's got tons of weapon removal.
I think the best chance
One
for
drop in the
Kibler.
fiery war axe into 1-drop.
So good. I slightly like the hand from the hand better from Firebat with that mana from into double scientist.
One thing though,
good.
that Kibler can't do is go with the Eater of Secrets and Kazan Mystic. turnarounds that I did. I almost had a blowout with the Eater of Secrets earlier.
Almost.
If there's a mirror entities in there, the angry chicken is gonna take care of that one.
Yep. Just attack in, then drop the chicken.
Yep. Let's see if it is. Nope.
Uh-oh. Not quite.
So it could be the barrier again. That barrier
would be
in this
bad.
matchup actually would be quite good. In the previous one, I don't think it was that spectacular, but here it would not be bad at all.
He does have Ice Block as well as one of his secrets.
Whoa, that was not good.
Not good at all. Trying to duplicate it so slow. Next turn, Scientist Frostbolt is looking all right.
Oh man, that's a tough play by Kibler already. I mean, this feels like I'm watching your match, TJ. It's like turn 3 and no play is great.
Yep. Turn 4, no play is great. Turn 5, no play is great.
But turn 2, some play is all right.
Yeah, fireworks. Then it gets frozen, and then it gets removed. Ooh,
Oh, that's so miserable.
That's actually really awkward because he could have played Nazos's first mate this turn with Bloodsoul Cultist if he had played Nat the Darkfisher last turn. So,
but obviously there was no way to know that that would be the next card to draw. So that's really necessarily a mistake there.
Yeah.
Not the Darkfisher, not the card that he wants to play here, but he's probably going to do so anyway. You're testing for that mirror entry once again. Yep. This time it is.
Maybe should have played Nat the Darkfisher into the mirror entity to try and draw himself some cards.
That damage.
Yeah, he needs to keep every single minion alive, so
Yeah.
not the Darkfisher for his opponent would have been able to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean,
That's 3-2.
Kibler's putting on some damage here, and now Firebat might be able to duplicate an Acidic Swamp Ooze. But if you duplicate the Acidic Swamp Ooze and your opponent plays Tentacles for arms,
It's
an
gonna keep
infinite
coming.
loop.
Yeah, it's gonna just keep coming back.
Yeah, so I think it's Ice Block is the other secret, right? Ice Block?
Oh no, oh no. Kibler's face says though.
Though, yeah.
And now the Arcanite Reaper in his hand.
Oh my
Not
goodness.
looking so good.
Well, he can bait out the oozes that were duplicated until he can play the Arcanite Reaper.
Play Tentacle for arms 3 times.
I mean, it forces Kibler to re-spend 5 mana, but to be honest, Kibler really doesn't have many things he can spend 5 mana on anyway.
And, in a way, that Tentacle for arms is immune to those oozes. Just costs a little bit of mana.
Well, you have to mill it out, right? You have to put them on 10 cards, then Tentacle for Arms, then like super kill it.
I think the player that would play Tentacles for Arms would want to mill it more than the player playing against it.
Oh no, you got rid of my Tentacles for Arms eventually.
What am I gonna do now with my 10 cards?
I'm gonna play something better. All these are the hands. Firebat said it earlier on the desk. The worst cards in the game are weapons when you have a weapon equipped.
That's likely to be true. All right, here thinking about how to make these trades. That freeze effect is something that he definitely does not want to keep around.
No, oh,
He's gonna play it for 1-1.
He's baiting out the second ooze.
It's not very significant to play the 1-1 here. In case that he picked up another way to like upgrade that, maybe it would have been beneficial to have an extra pirate in his hand. Just trying to end the game quickly.
well, oh, he's gonna.
Let's see what they get. Ooh.
Wow! Well then, that's what just happened. Kibler is going to get a pretty good hero power here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely a hero power that he wanted. That's incredible.
Probably the best one possible for Kibler there. It's
Yeah.
actually a relevant death rattle from it.
You might just want to not ooze.
That's
I
amazing.
think just not playing the ooze is great here. Because you force him to Tentacle for Arms again, and then you ooze it.
Well, the thing is he knows that Kibler can override it
No,
anyway.
it's actually lower tempo to ooze right now, I think.
Yeah.
It's higher tempo to let Kibler replace his own weapon and then ooze it.
Yeah.
Wow. But this is turning into a race quickly. We have to remember that Kibler is also down to 16 already, and that's not very good. So,
Wait a
Firebat, Kibler might be forced to doing some trades here. With 7 mana, Arcanite Reaper, hero power. How much is heroic strike? What is the maximum damage here?
13, I think.
Yeah, not enough.
Well, you can set it for a 2-turn lethal, but the thing is, Firebat has Ice Block up, so it'd be a 3-turn. And Firebat, with the weapon that he has, plus double Fire Lance Portal,
Yep.
and you know, Fire Lance Portal plus ping on the following turn, even if minions are removed, Firebat has his own 2-turn lethal. So I think he's got him in sort of a checkmate situation here, unless Kibler can find some way to gain health. Of course, he doesn't know that, but I think his best...
He probably suspects that. He's seen Firebat's hand the whole game now.
Isn't it 1-off with that 2-turn lethal? Because the weapon is going to be 4. Fire Lance Portal, ping. Because he can only ping once. Oh, what he uses...
Well, he couldn't clear off... He couldn't clear off the full board without... Oh, wait. No, he could have cleared off the full board without taking damage. He just sacrificed a lot.
Yeah, well, this is a 2-turn lethal right here. Kibler no longer has his armor up available. And that is, I don't think
that's probably just going to stop it from proc Ice Block altogether.
I don't think there's anything Kibler can draw to survive here.
Oh, Kibler Ice Block from the Mad Scientist!
Well, hold on. Kibler might think that could be Spellbender because it could be Spellbender. So...
Yeah, I mean, you definitely
in his position, he could win. I don't believe Spellbender's in the deck, though. Did you put Spellbender in the deck? Probably should have.
I don't know, Crib.
Okay. If that secret is not an ice block, then Kibler is going to win the game.
I don't remember putting Spellbinder in the deck, but I know I put an Ice Block in the deck. Okay. Well, Firebat starts his comeback.
Yeah. That was closer than I thought it would be, though. I think this Warrior deck might win.
It could win. It's going to be very tough.
We'll be right back and see. All right, guys, welcome back. We're getting into game 4. Not a sweep this time around.
No, not a sweep, and Firebat's got some life left in him. Kibler's got to find a win with the Warrior deck, the Impossible Warrior.
Yeah, Kibler is up on the score, but Firebat's still a favorite to win the match in my mind, at least. There is a chance there against both of Firebat's decks. If Kibler gets an explosive start and Firebat maybe has a slow one, it's not impossible, but it's going to be a difficult task.
Victory or death!
Well, that's a pretty bad looking hand from Firebat right now. But Kibler also mulliganing away all of his cards.
I'm surprised. That Pyro combo is nuts if you get a War Axe. Right, that just might be the risk he has to take.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically 3 chances. Oh, and he would have got it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's
because if you get War Axe, you can go War Axe into Pirate into the other Pirate that buffs the War Axe.
Astral Communion for Firebat. He could be innervated out next time.
Yeah, and he'd be getting rid of Tree of Life and Feral Rage, which aren't necessarily super crucial to the game.
No, not at all.
So that's... I don't want to call it a dream start, but it's pretty close to a dream start.
I think we're gonna see it unless he picks up maybe Wild. No, I mean, yeah, you gotta do it.
No, he's going for it.
Just have to do it.
Yep.
He has to.
Let's do it.
Someone get in the booth and force him to innervate Astral Communion.
Please.
My greeting.
It was so disappointed if he doesn't do it. He goes for the innervate Astral Communion. Wow. Still getting in that hero power as well. And now he's going to be in a top deck position. And he needs to find something good. If he picks up another Innervate, for example, there's no play available, but there's so many big taunters in the deck that it shouldn't be too hard for him to... Oh, wow.
I feel like if it was me, I'd definitely draw an Innervate here.
Yep. But if you're Firebat, what do you draw? Moonlight Portal?
That's pretty solid.
I think you attack into the 5/3 first and then Portal, right?
I mean, you lose 2 armor. I don't know. Like, this 1 health difference. I guess you get to deal 1.
Yeah, but it's better if you get wobbling runs.
Oh! That guarantees that he's going to be having some plays for the next turns, because it's very likely that he's going to be winning that death rattle.
Likely, but not certain. Kibler does have a few big ones.
Yep.
I'd probably give it in the 70-80% range, which is better than most jousts, which are usually not even close to
see.
Oh, Milhouse Mana Storm!
My sabotage!
Good job, DJ. Making these finals a little bit more exciting. Oh, wow. That's not the top deck he wanted. This is so miserable.
It's beautiful.
It's +1 attack, -1 toughness on the frothing there. As good as doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Maybe even worse. And Kibler just continues to draw pretty well. I mean, he might be able to capitalize on Firebat.
Yeah, those frothing berserkers, those are pretty nuts. How does Firebat remove them? Deathwing?
I don't even know if he has a death
that's
deck.
finally gets a good card from the top. But is it good enough? It just might be. It might trade for both of those frothings. Just 1 because of the Arcanite Reaper.
Yeah.
You have to hero power down the 1/1 here, because if you don't hero power, the frothings get 2, but if you hero power, it gets 1 only.
Yep. Good call, Crip. But Kibler does have actually a pretty big threat in his hand with the Sea Reaver. That's not something that Firebat might expect. Curse Blade.
Because of the trigger on the draw, though, I think he will expect it.
Yeah.
It didn't actually deal any damage to any minions, but you still get to see the effect, so Firebat knows that it's in the hand. Well, now there's only 1 frothing, but it is still a 6/4. It's pretty big, and it might get even bigger. Firebat hoping to find another big draw. Oh, that's not good. I mean, yeah, it's a 6/6. Doesn't quite die to the Arcanite Reaper, but he's looking at 11 damage. No Merigan Infantry? Yeah, okay. It's gonna tank the Arcanite Reaper.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. Finally found a moment. Oh, you definitely do not want to play that one.
I actually don't think it's great, because with the last frothing out, it absorbs 4 and buffs the frothing 1, so it just absorbs 5 damage. Or it just absorbs 4 damage, and it has 4 health, so it will always absorb at least 4 health. So I actually think hero power was better there, because you'd gain 1 extra health overall.
Okay, another Druid of the Claw. So if he was to charge that and hero power, he could potentially clear the board fully. He could also just taunt it up and wait for the next draw.
I don't think taunt works very
That
well.
draw thing has to go. I would imagine he's going to charge it here.
Yep. That's the charge.
All right, well, he's going to take a lot of damage, and Kibler has actually a few outs to just win the game here, I think. He's already got Curse Blade. Yeah, Heroic Strike is one of them. I don't know if he has Cork on Elite in the deck.
I'd imagine a deck like his he would.
But he can just load up the board here.
Even just with that Curse Blade and the Dread Corsair, he's going to set up a little. And Firebat needs another taunt or a way to heal.
Whoa! Might be on the verge of becoming a Challengestone champion.
Again.
Again.
Extra card, what is it going to be?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, well.
Well, I don't think you can play the Harrison Jones.
Do you
You
survive?
can if you draw an Innervate.
Yeah, he does survive with just the Arc Claw for now.
Or if you Sludge Belcher, I think is also in the deck. So he might have been able to hit a taunt or something to be able to play the Dark Urkoa. Oh no!
That is not helpful. Kibler needed 3 more damage, but Angry Chicken not gonna do it. If he uses the Curse Blade to tank that,
Be Immortal Strike range.
It's gonna take 10 damage from the Arc Claw.
God. Yeah, but that's the best play,
I
right?
mean, he has to keep his minion around. Wow. So swipe hero power, how much would that be? That'd be 10 damage, so not quite there.
Well, Firebat needs a way to block damage. I mean, he can remove the weapon with Harrison Jones.
Yeah. Wild. It's going there for the Hearthstone. Okay.
That belongs in a
I mean, he does stay alive here just on the board, even if he doesn't find a playable minion.
Now that's a card.
That is a bad card.
The Argent
He really
Watchman.
needs taunt and he needs minion count. So now he has to make the decision.
Wild
How many
Growth.
taunts do I have in the deck? How likely am I to get one right now?
I think Wild Growth for the Feral Rage might be something that he wants to potentially try. Because didn't we see one of those in the starting hand?
Yeah, he did have one that
in
he
the- in a
discarded
previous-
through the
You
Astral
didn't
Communion.
sabotage him that Feral Rage, I hope not.
I did
He
not know.
discarded it from.
He discarded one, but I don't know if he has two.
Right.
I did give him a Knight of the Wild, though.
Okay. So looks like he is going to play the minion. Be able to contest the next minion from Kibler potentially.
Kibler just needs to pull out 1 damage.
One single point of damage.
Let's see if he gets it.
He gets 1 damage.
That is
Exactly 1 damage.
exactly 1 damage.
Wow. I'm curious how defeat tastes in Firebat's mouth because he's probably not used to that one.
Yeah, but Kibler becomes the Challengestone champion of the 2016 BlizzCon. A repeat champion for Kibler. He seems to be a Challengestone.
He's
a
doing well.
Challengestone immortal.
He's doing well.
He is.
And I have to say, you know, he's got good decks overall. He's got good strategy. But for some reason, he just for fun sticks a bunch of dragons in there and just works out for him.
Yeah, he even gets Deathwing Dragon Lord to proc to summon a Deathwing to win a Challengestone.
Well, maybe Kibler can explain it himself a little bit better. Let's go to Raven and see what he has to say.
Thanks a lot, Crip. A huge congratulations to Brian Kibler as the 2016 BlizzCon Challengestone champion. Did everything go to plan?
I mean, not only did I win, but I won a game with like Deathwing into Deathwing on the BlizzCon stage. Doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, I looked over and there was a Dragon Lord on the board and a Deathwing in your hand, and I was like, yeah, Kibler's in his comfort zone
Oh,
right
yeah.
now. This
No,
seems normal. I'm just watching Kibler stream now. Like,
Pretty much.
Yeah.
What went wrong, Firebat?
I drew all of the sabotage cards, which was a little unfortunate. Felt like I had like 10 secrets in my hand every game and just was not panning out the way I wanted it to. I was able to actually remove 3 weapons one game and was still behind in tempo, which is just ridiculous.
That's definitely a little bit rough. Did you feel that you won through the deck building aspect here, Kibler? Do you think that's where you really won this tournament?
I mean, I think that my Druid and Paladin decks are actually pretty good given the situation. I think my Warrior deck was actually very bad, and particularly very bad against Firebat's lineup, so things kind of just worked out for me with that deck.
Just to be clear, did Frodan just give you all the Paladin secrets?
No, he gave me an Eye for an Eye and like
Okay.
an Alarmobot. and
Okay.
Basically, he gave me Eye for an Eye, and I'm like, all right, I'm making Secret Paladin. This is your
Yeah,
fault.
yeah.
Don't blame me. This is your fault.
You did this to us.
Exactly.
Yeah, we did look at the deck. Me and Sol were watching, and Sol just looked up. There's all the secrets. It's like, what happened? Why is Kibler just playing Secret Paladin? Nuts. But
He just drew Belcher, Shredder, was like, yeah, good deck.
Mini-bot, mustard. Yeah.
Not bad, you know?
the good old days. But congratulations again, Kibler. You, as well as the title, you do win this Hearthstone
is pretty
keepsake
sweet.
box that is in fact signed by the Blizzard Hearthstone development team. Pretty sick prize overall.